I read the text once. Then again. Then I felt my chest tighten before my mind could catch up. Please don't come. The family wants a drama-free wedding. It was from my mother. No greeting. No softness. No explanation. Just one sentence that quietly erased me. I was sitting on the edge of my bed in my apartment in Columbus, Ohio, still in work clothes, shoes kicked off, phone glowing in the dim light. Outside, rain tapped steadily against the window. Somewhere down the block, a car alarm chirped and stopped. Normal sounds. Normal night. Except nothing about me felt normal anymore. Then my phone buzzed again. A notification. My sister, Lauren, had liked the message. That small heart icon felt heavier than anything my mother could have typed. It told me everything I needed to know. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't panic or poor wording. This was intentional. They weren't worried I'd cause drama. They were worried I'd exist without apologizing for it. If this opening already hits something familiar, tell me where you're watching from. I need you to know, you're not alone in this. My name is Josie, and in my family, I was never the problem. I was something worse. I was the solution. The one who smoothed things over. The one who adjusted. The one who learned early that peace came at the price of silence. Lauren, my younger sister, was different. She filled rooms effortlessly. When she laughed, people leaned in. When she cried, the room rearranged itself around her. If Lauren was upset, everyone rushed to soothe her. If she snapped, someone explained it away. If she failed, it became a story about growth. If I struggled, it became something to manage quietly. So I learned to be careful with my emotions. I spoke gently. I chose my words like they were fragile objects. I apologized even when I wasn't sure what I'd done. By adulthood, my role was so ingrained no one questioned it. Including me. When Lauren got engaged, everyone assumed I'd slide into that role again. Helpful. Invisible. Safe. They didn't realize I was already tired of disappearing. The first time my family taught me I was optional, I was 26. I had just finalized my divorce. Nothing dramatic. No betrayal. Just the slow, painful realization that love can fade quietly and still hurt just as much. I moved back home briefly to get my footing. Lauren told relatives I was emotionally fragile. My mother asked me not to bring heavy topics to dinner. My father suggested I keep things private, for everyone's comfort. At a family gathering, Lauren raised her glass and laughed. Well, at least one of us knows how to keep a marriage. People laughed. I smiled. Later that night, my mother stood in my doorway, arms crossed lightly, and said almost kindly. You should try not to take things so personally. You make gatherings tense. That sentence stayed with me longer than the divorce ever did. Because in that moment, I understood the rule. Pain was acceptable only if it was quiet. Healing was welcome only if it was invisible. So I became very good at silence. But silence gives you something people underestimate. Time. Time to watch. Time to notice patterns. Time to see exactly who benefits from you staying small. Lauren's wedding was planned for Charleston, South Carolina. Historic venue. Neutral florals. Everything curated to look effortless. I'd helped pick the caterer. Reviewed seating drafts. Answered late-night texts when Lauren panicked about timelines. My invitation never arrived, but I assumed it was delayed. Until the text. Then the wedding website, password protected. Then my cousin messaged me. So excited to see you in Charleston. What color are you wearing? I stared at the screen before typing back. I'm not going. There was a pause. Then, oh. Lauren said you couldn't make it. Couldn't. Not wasn't invited. Not was asked not to come. Just, couldn't. That night, I replied to my mother with one word. Okay. No argument. No questions. They thought that meant acceptance. What it really meant was detachment. Once I was officially removed, the narrative filled itself in. Lauren told relatives I was taking space. My mother said I was working through some things. My father stopped mentioning me entirely. They were careful. Polite. Clean. But here's what they forgot. Months earlier, when Lauren panicked about wedding planning, she'd handed me access to everything. Vendor emails. Contracts. Shared folders. The planner's portal. I hadn't touched any of it. Until the night I was told not to come. That's when I noticed the inconsistencies. Venue credits listed but never applied. Duplicate deposits. Changes that didn't line up with payment histories. Nothing illegal. Nothing explosive. Just careless. And very traceable. I didn't feel angry. I felt calm. Lauren finally called 3 days later. Not to apologize. To explain. I just need you to understand, she said, voice tight. You have a way of shifting the mood. Shifting the mood. I don't want anything emotional happening, she continued. This is my day. I asked one question. Did I do something to hurt you? She exhaled, frustrated. Josie, you exist loudly. Even when you don't talk. That was it. That was the quiet cruelty. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I hung up. And in that moment, I stopped trying to belong. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, lights off, city glow bleeding through the blinds. I realized something devastatingly simple. They didn't want peace. They wanted control. My presence reminded them of things they didn't want to examine, old guilt, old patterns, old truths. So I made a decision. I wouldn't confront them. I wouldn't crash the wedding. I would let the truth arrive quietly. If you've ever been asked to disappear so others could stay comfortable, pause here, like the video, subscribe, and stay with me. This part matters. I sent 3 emails. One to the wedding planner. One to the venue coordinator. One to my mother. All polite. All factual. Subject line, clarification needed on outstanding credits. No accusations. Just documentation. Then I waited. Because truth doesn't rush. Lauren's wedding day arrived. I was standing in a grocery store aisle when my phone rang. My mother. Her voice was tight. Josie, what did you do? I didn't do anything, I said calmly. The venue flagged discrepancies. The planner asked questions. Refunds didn't match deposits. Guests waited. Lauren panicked. My father stood frozen. And in the middle of it all, my absence became noticeable. Lauren didn't walk down the aisle on time. The silence stretched. Then my phone buzzed again. Lauren. Crying. Why would you embarrass me like this? I said softly. I wasn't there. And for the first time, she had no script. The calls came in waves. My mother cried. My father explained. Lauren blamed stress. None of them apologized for the text. They apologized for consequences. I listened. Then I said one sentence. I'm done being managed. Months later, I moved to Asheville, North Carolina. Quieter mornings. Slower days. No one asking me to shrink. Lauren framed her wedding photos carefully, cropping out empty spaces. I built a life that didn't require permission. Here's what I learned. Being uninvited isn't rejection. It's release. If someone needs you silent to feel important, they never loved your voice, only your compliance. You don't owe access to people who only want control. If this story resonated, comment where you're watching from, subscribe for more stories like this, and remember, sometimes the strongest revenge is simply refusing to disappear.